What's good, y'all? It's Greg here. Today I want to talk to those of you that feel like you are in a waiting season. You are in a season right now of you want to do something amazing. Whether it's you're not an entrepreneur yet and you want to become an entrepreneur, but you got to work for the man. You're in a waiting season, right? Maybe you are an entrepreneur and your business hasn't really taken off yet. And you know that it has the potential to take off, but it hasn't. You're in a waiting season. Okay. Maybe you are trying to find your forever person, your spouse or whatever. And right now you single and you lonely. You're in a waiting season. I want to talk to you all today. Okay. And I want to share with you a story of when I was in a waiting season. And I truly believe that this season has set me up for being able to handle the blessings when the blessings have eventually come my way. So that's what I want to share with you guys this morning. Anyways, let's talk about a couple things. If you don't mind, I'll get some coffee. You have her doing this. So in 2004, I was working for a company called Cora Rehabilitation. And when I was working for Cora, I was very frustrated. Okay, I was frustrated because Cora, my first year of opening up the practice that I opened up for Cora, I was able to bring that practice from no patients at all, brand new clinic in an area called New Tampa, Florida, to by the end of the first year, we were seeing 27 patients a day. And I was doing that really by myself with one other part-time physical therapist at the office. That's what we're doing, of course. Sometimes I would have a part-time physical therapist. Her name is Alda, and sometimes I'd have a part-time physical therapist assistant, and her name is Denise. And that's it. That's all I had. And I was frustrated, man. I wasn't frustrated with the money. I think I was making like 66 or 68 or something like K a year. I was more frustrated with the fact that like I was asking my bosses, okay, for help. And I just felt like they just kept on stringing me along. And I feel like they were just playing me for a fool. Guys, I was seeing, of those 27 patients that I was seeing per day, I was probably seeing about 20 of them. And I had another facility, a satellite facility that was in an area called Saddlebrook Tennis Resorts, that I was seeing patients there too. So let me tell you what my day was like. 7 a.m., I'd get to the clinic. I would work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., sometimes even 8 p.m. During times like this, like right now, I'm doing this video, it's in March. This is when the professional tennis players are actually here in the United States. They're at a tournament called Indian Wells, and now they're after Indian Wells, they go to a tournament in Miami. So a lot of the players, when they get hurt, they would come to Saddlebrook if they couldn't play in those tournaments, and I would work with them. So this was a really busy season for me, right? And yeah, that's kind of how it was for me, I was working really long hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then going to Saddlebrook, sometimes 8:30 p.m. to midnight. And it was creating a massive strain on my marriage. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you this because I became bitter. I became resentful because I wasn't getting paid for all of that. And I was asking for help. And they were continuing to blow me off with the help. Oh, yeah, we're going to get somebody. And I was like, yo, you're just taking advantage of me. And my marriage is falling apart. Okay, now let me tell you guys something. I started to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screw them over. I'm not going to show up to work. These are thoughts that went in my mind. And I really considered doing these things. And I remember one Sunday, I was at Grace Family Church, and the pastor was Craig Altman, and he had a message. And he had a message from Colossians chapter 3:23. That's what the message was on. And I believe this is a prophetic message for me. I believe for many of you, this is probably what you need to hear right now. You're in a waiting season, and you're not where you are called to be long term, but that does not give you the freedom to just like mail it in. Let me tell you what Colossians 3:23 says. I actually just pulled it up. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. That's Colossians 3, verse 23. And I heard that Sunday, and I'll tell you something, man, it did change my life. It's one thing, like, it's one thing when you hear something, it's like, oh my God, this is going to change my life. No. This thing actually changed my life. It changed my life because you know what? I decided to take that verse with me Monday morning when I went in to work at Cora Rehabilitation. I no longer said I'm working for Al or Carrie. I'm working for the Lord. And I realized that I was in a waiting season. But during that waiting season, this is not a time for you just to do nothing. This is not a time for you to see if I can screw them over, see if I can go to work late, I can leave early, I can make sure that I clock out at 4:53. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, right? You do not want to do that during your waiting season. During your waiting season, it's probably in your best interest to get Colossians 3:23 like on the home screen of your phone. Okay? And remember that you are not working for people. You really aren't even working for money. You're working as you're working unto the Lord, and you're working with all of your heart. You're giving your full out effort. And why do I say that? I say that because of this. You know, maybe the next video or 2 or 3 that I do, I'll say, hey, this is how you make multi 6 figures. This is how you do multi 7 figures. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is what you do here. This is how you build a membership. This is how you build an online community. This is how, okay. All those things are fun. All those things are great. But the reality is that those things really aren't that hard to do. Okay. Like, there really is no major secret. Like, you got the stuff on YouTube, you got the stuff on Instagram. I can tell you, for the most part, I mean, there's some sketchy people out there. For the most part, as someone that has done it, for the most part, what people are telling you, that's pretty much how you do it. Here's the issue why most won't be able to do it. Most won't be able to do it because they have not become the person that can handle what comes with building a multi-6-figure business, a 7-figure, multi-7-figure business. And a huge part of becoming that person is, how are you behaving when you're in a waiting season? How are you behaving when the lights are not shining on you? How are you behaving when you're not getting paid what you believe you should be getting paid? How are you behaving when a therapist is out and they ask to put a few of their patients on your schedule? Are you tripping? Are you acting a fool? You know you're not where you're supposed to be, but you know what? You know you're in a waiting season, but what you're doing is like, I'm going to wait to work hard. Oh, I'm going to wait to do it. No, you better be careful because that was me. And I was tripping. But that verse put me in my place, Colossians 3:23. And I'm telling you guys right now that I truly believe that I am not as good as people think I am. I believe I am receiving the blessings from the Lord. And I believe that I was on audition and I was showed that I could be a good steward. Whether things are good or not so good, whether I'm really happy or not so happy. And I believe I've been able to take that behavior into entrepreneurship, knowing that not every single day things are great. Not every single day the fanfare is there. Not every single day you're making a bunch of money. Some days it's just blank after blank after blank after blank. But man, I believe that during that waiting season, I started to train myself and anchor myself to that verse and actually live it out. And so I truly believe that's why when things weren't going so well in my business when I started, I was able to have the perspective of understanding, Greg, you're just in a waiting season. You're in a waiting season. What are you here to learn? But while you're learning, it's not supposed to be just waiting around doing nothing. While you're learning, you should be working with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Because you're not working for man. You're not even working for the paycheck. You're working unto the Lord. And so I feel like some of you probably need to hear that today. That's where you're at. You're in a waiting season. Honor it. Understand it. Work hard during it. Your time will come. It will. But just honor the waiting season that you're in. It is where you are going to become the person that is needed in order to have the eventual business that you want to have and have it long term. So honor the waiting season, y'all. If this message served you, share it with somebody else, because I'm telling you right now, I think a lot of people are fumbling the bag here. All right. See you guys on the next video.